On his 18th hour on Capitol Hill, we thank you for that. It's worth reminding folks what we're watching right now. This is the critical vote that we're watching. It's expected to take about 5 minutes. Once this goes through and the Republicans are expected to pass it, then we really are in a situation where 48 hours from now we could be in a government shutdown, which the last time we did that 17 years ago cost about $1.4 billion, about $2 billion in current costs, not to mention all the disruptions and the people who weren't getting paid. Let's turn to our panel of experts right now. Joining me in studio, Karen Finney, the host of MSNBC's Disrupt. Goldie Taylor, MSNBC contributor and managing editor of the Goldie Taylor Project. James Peterson, MSNBC contributor and director of Africana Studies and associate professor of English at Lehigh University. Good to see all of you. Good night, good evening, good morning.
Good morning.
It's 12:15. It's past midnight.
A long day.
Karen, give me your assessment of what you've been watching, and you've been here most of the day as well.
You know, at this point, I think what we're seeing is a very unique situation because you had essentially with Senator Ted Cruz, who did a conference call with those Tea Partiers in the House and said, you got to stand up and make sure that the CR vote comes today, right? Because there was some discussion or thought that maybe they would do the debt ceiling vote, there would be some other changes. He has had that kind of an impact on what we're seeing and what is happening right now. In effect, as you've said, what we're seeing right now is a vote to shut down the government because we know the Senate is going to send it back in the clean version, and the House is going to not accept that. So that's where we are. We're basically playing this massive game of ping pong, and yet there will be very real consequences.
And we can see right now enough yes votes to pass this.
Yep. Absolutely.
At this point. And Goldie, earlier tonight, Peter King was asked about this, and he said, you know, when he was asked, do you think your fellow Republicans would rather shut down the government than pass a CR with an Obamacare limit? And he said, I don't know. I guess it depends on how many people are controlled by Ted Cruz. Say what you will about how long he can talk and what he reads and whether or not you agree with him about White Castle cheeseburgers. But is this Ted Cruz in action, what we're seeing on our screen right now, Goldie?
Well, I do love White Castle, but what Ted Cruz has done is he really is controlling really both houses of Congress at the moment. And, you know, he is really sort of taking this home with him. What we're seeing tonight is monumental hypocrisy, though. We're watching them approve an amendment that strips away the tax on medical devices. That adds $29 billion to the deficit.
I'm going to excuse you for a second. Officially adopted. We just heard that on the floor of the House. So it's a done deal.
A done deal. And so we're watching our government come to a screeching halt tonight. In fact, it'll come to a screeching halt at midnight on Monday night. That means more than 800,000 federal workers or more, non-essential workers, will be furloughed. That means they won't have a paycheck to take home. That means that our federal office building that provides so many essential services to, you know, everyday Americans, those buildings will be shuttered at least for a time. The last time this government shut its doors, it lasted 28 days. I don't know many among us who could afford to miss a paycheck for 28 days.